Alright, let's dive into Kaiju number 8. This one's a high-energy, action-packed manga with plenty of monster-smashing goodness, but it's got a great twist on the typical kaiju, giant monster, story. It's about huge monsters wrecking cities, sure, but it's also about second chances and personal redemption, wrapped up in some epic battles. Ready? Let's get into it. So, the story kicks off in Japan, where these terrifying kaiju are a regular occurrence. The government's created the defense force to deal with these city-destroying monsters, and they're the heroes everyone looks up to. But our main guy, Kafka Hibino, is not exactly a hero. He's 32, stuck in a dead-end job cleaning up the mess left behind after kaiju battles, and living with this huge regret. You see, when Kafka was younger, he had dreams of joining the defense force with his childhood friend, Mina Ashiro. But life didn't exactly go his way, and now Mina's a badass commander while Kafka is, well, stuck dealing with kaiju guts. Things take a massive turn for Kafka when he gets infected by this weird little kaiju creature. And it's not just any infection, he turns into a kaiju himself. But here's the kicker, he can still control his human mind and switch between his human and kaiju forms. His kaiju form, dubbed Kaiju number 8 by the authorities, is insanely powerful. He's got monstrous strength, insane durability, and crazy abilities. Suddenly, Kafka's thrown into this strange new world where he's both the monster and the guy who's supposed to be fighting them. What makes Kaiju number 8 so awesome is Kafka himself. He's this older, kind of jaded guy who's seen his dreams slip away, but when he gets this second chance, he's determined to make the most of it. He's got this really relatable underdog vibe. He's not some young hotshot, but a guy who's been beaten down by life, and now he's literally turning into a monster to prove he can still achieve his dreams. Kafka finally decides to give it one more shot at the defense force, where he meets Reno Ichikawa, a younger recruit who becomes his buddy. Reno's serious, driven, and kind of a genius, but he looks up to Kafka in this weird way, despite Kafka being older and less traditionally heroic. Their friendship is one of the best parts of the story. It's hilarious and heartwarming at the same time. Then there's Mina, who's basically the ultimate kaiju-slaying commander. She's cool, collected, and absolutely lethal with this giant cannon she uses to obliterate kaiju. Kafka's always looked up to her, and there's this emotional tension between them because they had this shared dream, but she's on top of the world, and Kafka's just trying to catch up. The real kicker is the action. The kaiju battles in this series are on another level. The defense force uses these super high-tech suits that amplify their strength, but when Kafka's in his kaiju form, he's this unstoppable force. He has to hide his identity from everyone because, obviously, being a giant monster is a bit of a problem. There are moments when he almost gets caught, but he manages to use his kaiju powers to secretly save the day, which leads to some really tense and funny situations. As the story unfolds, we start to see that Kafka's not the only one with secrets. The world building in Kaiju number 8 is top-notch, with hints that there's more going on with the kaiju than just mindless destruction. There are other powerful kaiju out there, and some might even be intelligent. Kafka's kaiju form, for example, seems to have its own mysteries tied to it. The tension builds as Kafka tries to balance his human life with his monstrous powers, all while staying under the radar of the defense force. And, of course, there's the constant threat of new kaiju attacks. But what really pulls you in is Kafka's determination. He's not some overpowered teenager, he's a guy who's failed before and knows what it means to start over, and that makes his journey feel even more epic. By the end of the first arc, Kafka's become a full-fledged member of the defense force, but no one knows about his secret kaiju identity yet. The stakes are getting higher, and you can feel that there's so much more to come in terms of battles, kaiju lore, and Kafka's struggle to stay true to himself while wielding such dangerous power. Overall, Kaiju number 8 is this amazing mix of heart-pounding action, hilarious moments, and deep emotional beats. It's a story about second chances, friendship, and fighting monsters, both literal and metaphorical. If you're into kaiju battles with a fresh twist and a protagonist you can really root for, this series is a must-read.